I don't know if you guys can see, but back over there, there's a casino, and there's a full parking lot. And this is a Parks and Recreational place, and the parking lot is pretty empty. I find that kind of funny. Kind of, it shows like what is most important to people nowadays: entertainment or knowledge or experience. I think it's kind of funny. I've never even been down here. There's like a little dock down here. I guess people fish off of. I used to walk up and down this. This is called the Missouri River, and it leads to the Mississippi River. And honestly, today is absolutely a gorgeous day. Today is a Saturday. I think today it's like 62 degrees. I mean, it's a little chilly with the wind because I'm a bitch. But yeah, I find that pretty interesting. You know, I came here last week and I realized that I'm like, wow, look at all those cars at the casino. And there's hardly any cars over at this park and recreational facility. So what happened is, if anybody's been watching my channel, so I got into Missouri around 2:30 in the morning. I drove around, oh man, I woke up around 6 a.m. and on a Tuesday, and 7 or 6, and started cleaning the rest of my apartment up. And if anybody that is moving like from like a far place away, you can't just move. You have to clean that, like live as you're packing. It's not like you can just move all your stuff, go back, clean it up later. No, it's like doing it all at once. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but so I got my U-Haul at 10. Me and my kid packed it up. Got done by 11, and we were on the road because we had to go get the car hitched on the back, and that's a huge pain in the ass. But driving it here, I hate towing crap. So we got it on the road around noon, and then we got in here around 2:30 a.m. and I drove the whole way straight through. Didn't take a nap in like the last 100 miles. I didn't think I was gonna make it. There was no rest stops on the way, so it was rough. It was brutal. When I'm sitting here like 14 hours in, back's hurting. Yeah, it was pretty rough, but I got it. Everything was safe and sound. Nothing bad happened. It was going through some of the narrow roads because of construction, and having the car dolly kind of stick out farther than the car or whatever, is going through that, especially at night when I couldn't see it. That was nerve-wracking to say the least. So I ended up getting I was applying in places the week before, and this place emailed me basically on Tuesday, and they called me, but I didn't call back because I was on the road. I was going to call back the next day, and they said I had an interview set up the next morning at 8:30. I'm like, like I was thinking, okay, heck yeah, I'll go. And then when I got here, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna go. Well, I got up around 7, and I actually showed up there in sweatpants. And it's a good job. Like, it's a really good pay to start out, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to start this job. A lot of the skills I've learned from different places really are gonna fit in there. And I feel like I have a lot of room to grow in this situation. a lot of things to learn. And that's something with my last job where I just felt like there was no room for growth. I was going to be stuck where I was at, and I just didn't want to do that job anymore. That's what it came down to. I just didn't want to do it anymore. You can only do something for so long, and you're not learning anything new. It's just repetitive. I'm not making a bunch of money, so I'm not growing in that area. And yeah, that's what happened. And I showed up. I showed up in sweatpants and this hoodie, and I told him exactly what happened. I was like, I apologize for my appearance. My stuff's in the back of a U-Haul, and they were understanding. I think they were quite impressed for me to even show up, considering all that. But like, when they see my license, my license is Michigan, and so I aced the interview. I did such a fantastic job. I'm so proud of myself. I showed a lot of confidence. I asked a lot of questions, and I walked out with a job offer. It was amazing. I was here 6 hours, and I already had a job. I'm sitting here in Michigan, like, being scared I'm not going to be able to find a job. And I came here, lo and behold, I found a job really quickly, and it's a decent paying job. And it kind of rivals what I was making before anyway. I mean, basically I was probably making like $22 an hour, and here is like $20.50. I think it's like $20.80 with a night premium. I'll be working overnights, which is cool. I'm fine with that. It's whatever. And the cost of living is a lot less here. Gas prices were around $3.15 to $3.80 something, and here it's like $3.70. And who knows how low they go? They might go lower. They might go. I don't know. I just got here, but I see like it's mostly around. I mean, not $3.70, $2.70. Things are cheaper. It's cheaper for housing, cheaper for a lot of different things. It's a lower standard of living, and it's just easier to get by, especially for me trying to do what I'm trying to do, is get myself out of debt, be around family more, and that's a big thing, get my finances under control, so I don't ever have to worry about being in this situation again. And I'm very thankful, and I'm very thankful. Everything worked out pretty well, and honestly, I'm living in my mom's basement. Yes, I'm living in my mom's basement. You guys could laugh, go ahead and say, "Oh, you're a loser." I told her, I said, we'll stay here about a month, and then that's about it. And because there's a couple houses, one that is right next door to hers, and there's one like right by there. So the goal is to get one of those, but I'm not gonna. They're empty right now. But I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna. Everyone is dealing with the situation pretty. I'm not gonna go into detail about my family. It's nobody's business. But there's too many people in the house, and I'm welcome. We're welcome, and yeah, it's just a temporary thing. But if these houses don't open up, I plan on getting something different. But it's that's, if anyone was wondering who's been following my journey, my videos or whatever, that's where I'm at. I really haven't been following the news too much. I've been on Twitter a little bit the last couple of days. That girl who called that kid the N-word. He was like 5 for stealing her kid's stuff. That's what's popping off right now on the internet. And she raised like $500,000 for a GoFundMe. Well, here's the thing. I think what she did was absolutely reprehensible. Okay, there's other ways you can handle that situation. But when the reason why she raised so much money and the reason why she's gone viral is because the hypocrisy of some other races. One in particular, where well, you're defending a guy who stabbed somebody else of a different race, and like you're kind of thinking, oh, he should, there's like they raised $500,000 for his defense or whatever. When he was already admitted to doing it, he's like, yeah, I did it, and it's self-defense. Whatever. Okay, self-defense. The guy didn't have a weapon, so he just decided to kill him. But it's kind of funny to see how people defend that and act like somebody saying a word is more offensive than killing somebody, and that's where we're at. And that's why people are defending this woman, is because it's like, if you're gonna defend your trash, then we're gonna defend our trash. And it's basically to show, like, do you want to live in this world? It's like, I don't want to live in this world. I think that the woman is disgusting, honestly. But she's all tatted up and everything, and probably a single mom. Who the hell knows? But I'm not in defense of what she did, but I see like the social situation, and I'm like, well, you see things like George Floyd, or you see things like Carmelo Anthony, and you're like, okay, well, you're defending crap, and yes, the kid should get a fair trial, but he's already admitted to killing him. And they raised $500,000, so it's just pretty much, just because he's a certain race, he's going to be defended by other people in his race. So it's like, this goes both ways. It's not just going to be like, whites are just going to continue to roll over and be told that we're the evil whites anymore, and blah, blah, slavery and civil rights. And it's like, dude, this stuff happened well before I was born. I feel bad for the people who had to live through the era of civil rights and who have been disparaged, those people. But there's a lot of people who act like they've lived in those times, and they haven't even came close to dealing with what their ancestors went through. And when you get to the point where you're saying good morning is white supremacy, is kind of like, this is a joke. Like, it's absurd at this point. And if you guys are gonna just make it absurd about it, then we are too. That's where things are at. And then until like leaders realize what's going on, you will see a further divide, and it's unfortunate, man. Because like, part of the reason why I voted for Obama in 2008, because I was like, oh yes, we can get past all this racist crap. We can not forget about the past, but let's put it in the past and move forward. But ever since, Obama, it's pretty much, been more and more divided, race versus race and white versus black. And it's just, yeah, you're going to see more racist white people. And I'm sorry. And it's sad. It's sad. And there's a lot of people who are raised not to be, but if you act a certain way and act like you need a double standard, that's gonna happen, so it's unfortunate. But yeah, that's where we're at, and I'm just gonna make a quick video. Y'all take it easy.